The diamond is unbreakable you watched is all a lie. Like, did you know that Jotaro and Josuke are seriously misogynistic? Or the real reason Joseph adopted the baby? Or why Jotaro is fooling around in a small town rather than raising his f***ing daughter? No, you don't. Cause you just didn't see it the way I did. This part is where Araki found his style and transitioned from alpha males to alpha femboys. In the beginning, Josuke looked like the guy that would tell his girlfriend's father to be home by 6. And towards the end, looked like somebody that would educate me on gender norms. Whoa. Who is Josuke? I'm getting ahead of myself. This incredible tale starts with Jotaro, a now marine biologist who is a changed man. And the reason behind his drastic change in personality are the new bonds and relationships he forged along the way. Namely, the dolphins he fucked. This is Koichi, an unironically normal high schooler. He is a sheep in a sheep's clothing, basically a speedwagon inside Polnareff's body, the most gentle and caring character. But above all, he is just so reliable. While Jotaro was looking for a very special person, Koichi barged into his crotch. Oddly enough, he liked it. That's why he loves Koichi more than Jolene, who by the way also spawned from his crotch. When Jolene was born, Jotaro was disappointed that it wasn't Koichi.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Koichi is so reliable that if he was in Stone Ocean, there would be no Stone Ocean. He is not Koichi, he is Koichad. Koichi doesn't sleep with your mom sleeps with Koichi. And just like Jotaro, Koichi's stands come in different shapes. Echo's Acto 1 is basically a retarded caterpie. Remember this scene?
50年昔イタリアであの人と知り合って以来期待を裏切られたことはただの一度としてありません
Yeah, this did not age well. Turns out, Joseph, in his time, hormone overdrived his sperm all across the world, spreading his seed. And the protagonist of this part is none other than his love child, Josuke.
Question. Could you repeat what you just said about my hair, sir?
Who is obsessed with his hair. You could say he is hair sexual. Even his pubic hair looks like this. He met Jotaro after getting bullied and letting a turtle die. Jotaro, seeing this, called him out for being a fucking pussy. Oh my god, what a hopeless person you are. Lol XD, my stand can turn things into their original form. Then use it on yourself and go back into Joseph's balls. Also, Joseph Joestar is your father. Josuke's character is simple. He is a misogynistic, toxic alpha male who does not think twice before killing women. His hobbies include assaulting innocent civilians and vandalizing public property. However, don't judge him too harshly because at the same time, he is also going through a severe identity crisis, if you know what I mean. If there is one reason that you should watch part 4, it's Josuke's mom. It's the plot, which revolves in the very interesting town of Moore, Ohio. Jojo villains are truly fascinating. They have evolved from a furry vampire to glamorous Aztec gods to a zesty vampire to now where we ended up with a creepy salaryman with hand fetishes. Although, before getting to him, we need to dig a bit deeper and truly understand Josuke. Look, Josuke's grandpa was a big fan of the American police and religiously followed in their footsteps too, like confronting teenagers with a gun or harassing minorities. Sadly, he had a stroke trying to understand the metric system and died in the process. After witnessing his grandpa's death, Josuke contemplated his life choices and decided to become a better man, and thus embarked on a journey with none other than Kujo Jotaro to become a secret protector of Morio. Part 4 is all about community. It has everything from cute anime siblings to a murderer slash rapist that becomes a landmark where lovers hang out. Yeah, this is a bit weird even by my standards. However, before moving forward in the story, there are some crucial characters that you need to know of. First, Josuke's mom. This is when we are finally introduced to the first actually dangerous set of opponents, the Nijimura brothers. Two normal high schoolers that totally don't look like World War II veterans waiting for their pension. They possess an arrow that will turn normal people into stand users. However, they are not all bad people. There is actually a very good reason behind their doings. The thing is, Dio after his death left a cumsock, which is their father, and they want to turn him into a normal human being. Spoiler alert, it never fucking happens. What does happen though is that the older brother dies and the stand arrow gets stolen. So, the crucial characters that I mentioned before, these are the 3 characters you need to know about. First, Kakyoin. But he died in part 3, right? No. There is Kakyoin in part 4, and I promise you'll see him later. Second, Sorry, but I'm gonna say it the Japanese way. It might sound racist, but nothing funnier than an Indian boy speaking English in Japanese accent. Second is Reddu,
Red hot chili pepper.
a stand user that can fry omelets better than Gordon Ramsay, given his track record. And last but not the least, the man, the myth, the legend, none other than Okuyasu himself, the man of the people, who dares to raise his voice against the status quo and speak on behalf of the people.
おめえの母ちゃん美人だな。
欲しかったうちのママの写真さ。
結構おふくろさんは美人なのね。
Wait, the bigger question is, how the fuck does this come out of this? Pretty sure he's the product of an average Alabama relationship. He's Shigechi, by the way. He's not gonna be important, so forget about him. Look at these beautiful girls, aren't they cute? Okuyasu's ability is called Zahand, that wipes away anything he touches out of existence, which is like a really cool power to have. Except when you're on the fucking toilet about to wipe your ass, he's gonna catch Red Hot Chili Pepper for killing his brother. And so, Jotaro and the gang decide to catch that son of a bitch. And in order to do that, none other than our beloved Jojo, Joseph Joestar, enters the ring. Mind you, he's pretty old now, so his power bar has decreased. But boy oh boy, his drip is off the charts. Turns out, Red Hot Chili Pepper was just a struggling artist trying to make ends meet. And Josuke, being the son of a billionaire capitalist he is, crushed him and his dreams. So, remember Joseph knocked up Josuke's mom and used the secret technique of Nigerundayo? Yeah, the interaction between Joseph and Josuke was pretty awkward. Joseph didn't even know about his existence and just neglected him for all of his life. He was definitely not a good father, and Joseph, being Joseph, started trolling Josuke by letting him know what he missed during his childhood by literally taking care of an orphan baby right in front of him the whole time. Josuke did not tolerate that and stole the baby. However, the time he spent with the baby made him realize the value of life and the fact that you only have one. This encouraged him to be more open and transparent with his identity and who he is. Then he got an idea to ask Jotaro to help him understand his emotions. And it's good to ask for help, just not from the person with severe PTSD who is busy boning dolphins while his daughter is becoming a Florida woman. So, Jotaro, being Jotaro, in the most dominant manner, tells Josuke that they're going hunting a rat. Because he was shot with an arrow and is now a stand user that can make human jelly, it's a big problem. Because now the roles are reversed. Humans are the prey and the rat is the predator. But you would think Jotaro, the man that can stop time, will easily clap the fuck out of a rat. Well, no, he got duped by a rat stand. If only the rat dressed up gay and shouted Muda. But you can't blame the man. His mental stability was all over the place. Because that very day, he met Josuke's mom, who mistook him for Joseph and hugged him with all her heart, without even a shred of anger for leaving her or even abandoning his very own child. And at that very moment, Jotaro realized that Josuke's mom is not Koichi, so he should stop wasting his time with these useless bitches and spend some quality time with our oh so reliable baby man. However, as fate would have it, Jotaro has some competition in the race of winning Koichi's heart. Two strong contenders stand in his way. The first one being it's Yukako. Yeah, look, here's the thing. Everybody wants a hot and crazy obsessive bitch. Until she kidnaps you from your sleep in the middle of the night and traps you inside a house far away from any civilization and makes you eat a bunch of cornflakes, except it's not cornflakes, it's a bunch of blades. Never mind, you guys are freaks. But of course, it's no problem for our Koi Chad, who reverses her BDSM, sends her flying, and ultimately defeats her. Of course, in a very gentle and charming manner that only leaves her wanting more because she is just so You know, one time Yukako went to another stand user called Suji Aya that can manipulate people's faces in hopes of pulling Koichi, which ended up with her losing face. quite literally. Then Koichi, being the gentle Chad he is, he followed her, tracked her down and called her ugly. The second Koichi admirer is none other than the person with the ability that can ruin our lives, Kishibe Rohan, who has Heaven's Door, which is equivalent to your Discord chats getting leaked. He liked to peek into people's memories to look at their nudes, but when he looked at Josuke's naked photo and laughed at his bottom hairs, Josuke got pissed and beat the shit out of him. Kishibe Rohan liked Koichi because both of their names start with the letter K, which would automatically make these two men best friends, obviously. After which they went on numerous dates, including meeting a ghost. Wait, you don't know about that, do you? Rohan and Koichi hung out a lot, but this one time, they went into a certain back alley where Koichi was gonna show him how reliable he is. However, in the middle of it, they encountered something disturbing. The atmosphere suddenly turned cold and they felt a creepy presence around them. After turning around, they saw a dog with his neck slashed in half, blood dripping through it. But they are in the Jojo universe, so this is a normal Tuesday. What surprised them was meeting Sugimoto Remi, a ghost that couldn't pass on to the other side because she was killed by a man when she was 15.
The wounds of those souls are the same as mine!
And the dark shadow of the same serial killer is still looming over the town of Morio. And after hearing her story, I felt something. I felt annoyed, cause I'm like, bitch, what happened, just stop farming sympathy and go to heaven or some shit. And I like the fact that even when the dog is literally dead, Araki gonna make him look even deader. So yeah, Morio is not the same calm and happy little town everybody thought it was. There is a very evil force lurking in the shadows. Cut to Yoshikage Kira. Remember him? 33 years old, unmarried, stretches at night, wakes up without fatigue. God knows the amount of time he has saved us from cringe.
Rambling, starter!
This beautiful man right here is the most integral part of the story. I don't think I can describe him as anything other than the secret protector of Moore, Ohio. Kira is a complete ladies' man. He does everything from giving cute head massages to gifting very unique jewelry. His favorite vegetable is ladyfingers and he's an admirer of art. I would even go as far as calling him a feminist because he takes care of women that live on the street. Wait, no. They belong to the street. Yeah, no, forget what I said. He has a serious hand fetish, not just a normal one. He likes cold handies. One fine day, he was walking around searching for bitches when he encountered Shigechi. And after seeing his melted face that looked like an inverted stud, he decided to delete him. Pretty understandable. Because of that, he finally reveals his stand, which is the successor of Queen Elizabeth, known as Kira Queen. She cannot speak but still does a better job than Prince Charles. Back in his days, Kira made a few friends and learned a few techniques, so now anything his stand touches becomes a bomb, which can be detonated at will. The explosion leaves no trace behind, thus killing Shigechi in one swift blow. At home base, everybody was shocked at Shigechi's death. Yeah, now everybody can see her. Thus, our small little Morio community embarked on this mission of finding whoever the fuck killed Shigechi and thank him for his service. Jotaro, using his insane detective skills known as plot armor, was just an inch away from finding the culprit. However, as fate would have it, Kira at that very moment was present and attacked him and Koichi. Yes, he attacked Koichi. Now, even though Jotaro and the gang had positive feelings towards him, nobody attacks Koichi and gets away with it. Kira used his second stand power, a small tank that goes to the highest temperature area of the room and explodes. The name of this technique is something that Queen Elizabeth also had. Sheer heart. Jotaro gets bodied. Yeah, part 4 Jotaro is more useless than Sakura's kunai. Jotaro, more like Joketaro. Of course, Koichi had to step in to fight Kira in order to restore the universal balance of you hit Koichi, Koichi hit you. Too bad he got destroyed. Kira is an interesting character. He's tyrant enough to use your head like a fucking basketball, but will also put on socks for you like a mama bear. However, Koichi had found out Kira's real identity, so he had no choice but to... Wait, I think I've seen this before. Well, not the first time a main villain fisting a green uniform schoolboy whose name starts with a K. Kira thought he won. However, Jotaro stood up. Here, Kira made the biggest mistake of his life by uttering these words in front of Jotaro.
あと20秒しかない。無駄話をし、無駄。
Spiking up his PTSD, which resulted in a brutal smackdown. Kira was bloody as fuck and on the verge of losing. But it is Kira we are talking about, and in Jojo, even the villains get plot armor. So he not only escaped, but also literally changed his whole identity by forcing Tsuji Aya to use her stand powers on him. Also, I think he got the wrong idea of what deep throating is. Okuyasu got really mad.
No way! It can't be! The hell did she do to deserve this?
Because Tsuji Aya was on the top of his MILF list and he swore to avenge her death. Yeah, he had a MILF list. Kira is again as free as he ever was. However, this time on the run from a bunch of weirdos. Jokes aside, I am amazed by Kira's character. The sheer amount of pain man is willing to endure to get what he wants almost makes me want to root for him. Actually, Araki had also planned a backstory of Kira on how his childhood and the upbringing he received was a factor to his urge to kill. However, Araki later canned that idea because he wanted none of his audience to empathize with him. This way he can be even more of a menace. You really require a different class of aptitude to write an antagonist at such a grassroots level and make him as intimidating as world-ending threats, if not more. Thus begins the long-awaited battle between the hair sexual and the hand sexual, along with a key role played by this Freudian prodigy. For Jotaro and the gang, capturing Kira was on top of their bucket list. Josuke wanted to avenge Shigechi, Okuyasu wanted to avenge Tsuji Aya, and Jotaro wanted Koichi to see how cool he is. They started scouring every man that could be Kira. Meanwhile, Kira is trying to fit into the body and life of Kawajiri Kosaku, a lowly office worker with a wife that stopped loving him and an 11-year-old kid who is never paid proper attention to. Pretty sad, eh? Yeah, well, the kid is a fucking genius and the wife gets turned on by theft. Let's dive a bit deeper into the Kawajiri household. Shinobu is a lonely wife that I could best describe as belonging to the streets. I mean, kinda. Their marriage just doesn't have that spark anymore, making her bitter and depressed. Same thing with the kid Hayato. He is rarely ever shown love and care, as if both of his parents had given up on him. However, the moment Kira set foot in that house, the vibe completely changed. Man started cooking for his wife while jamming to Moyo radio, got fucking ripped, started grooming properly, etc, etc, and all of this led Shinobu to finally feel attracted towards her husband, especially after he stole money from the landlord. Look how wet she is. Unironically enough, Kira is a better husband than all of the previous protagonists. Think about it. Jonathan stranded his wife in the middle of the ocean just to get some head from Dio. Joseph cheated on his wife. Jotaro abandons his family for some aquatic pussy. Kira is now 100% trusted by Shinobu. However, when it comes to Hayato is crazy. That kid has the intellect of Cars, Kira and Kakyoin combined. He is so crazy, he sets up baby cams for his parents. He is so crazy, he caught Kira in 4K twice. He is so crazy, he almost sacrificed himself to let Josuke defeat Kira. He is so crazy, he never skips leg day. Hayato, the man, the myth, the legend, the person that had technically the smallest, but in actuality, biggest balls in the series.
Some major balls to set off the bomb like that.
So, moving on. Turns out in the subway, a girl made fun of Kira's bowling pin nail clippers. So, he went to her house to show her how cool they actually are. I for one think they're fabulous. However, she did not share the same sentiment and in the process, got erased, which is, by the way, all recorded by Hayato. Kira later confronted him in the bathroom, where he got caught in 4K for the second time, and after some back and forth, he kills Hayato. Okay, so Bites the Dust is kinda a little too complicated for me to summarize, so this is the battle we have been waiting for, the hair sexual versus the hand sexual. Update on the situation, Okuyasu is dead. Or is he? More like Okuyasus. Josuke and Hayato are trapped inside a house and are trying to escape Kira's hot balls. Josuke is heavily wounded and gets in one last attack before going down. It fucking works. Then he stylishly comes outside to break down all of his bones, and boy was it a treat to watch injured Josuke posing at Kira with those angry eyes. We have waited for this moment since the last 20 episodes, and it's finally here. Except fate is on Kira's side. Stray Cat instinctively blocks all of Crazy Diamond's attacks, and Kira took full advantage of that and shot up a hot ball straight towards our protagonist. Josuke is bleeding gallons of blood. His body is not responding. The bubble is getting closer and closer and closer. Is it gonna hit Josuke? Will Kira finally win? Is fate really on his side? Hell no. Because the man, the myth, the legend, the next presidential candidate, Okuyasu is back from the dead and sucks out Stray Cat in one fell swoop.
Off you go.
He explained that while he was unconscious, he saw all the MILFs of Morio who needed protection from the serial killer. By this time, Kira is surrounded by Jotaro, Koichi and Rohan, who quickly grasp the situation and charge towards him to finally put an end to this fiasco. But Kira still has the ability of Bites the Dust up his sleeve, therefore he can still escape this situation. However, at that very moment, Jotaro reaches a realization. So he stops time and very efficiently uses the limited seconds by stating how reliable Koichi is, and then fucking beats the shit out of Kira. This is the end of a great villain. Always scary, always unpredictable, always hopeful. Without the P. All he ever wanted was a lot of hands, which is exactly what he got. What a happy ending. Part 4 was anything but boring. Even the smallest of the battles kept us on the edge of our seat. And the big battle is not even that big. In 15 years, Kira killed around 50 people. Assuming he lived till 85, he would go on to kill around 120 more, which is like bad, but like shit, come on. Dio bodied like 100 people in the final battle itself. In the grand scheme of things, it didn't matter if Kira lived or died. But seeing Hayato uniting heaven and earth to try to stop Kira, it did feel like the end of the world. Huge props to him. An 11-year-old kid with no stand powers backed Yoshikage Kira into a corner and made him his bitch not once but twice, goddammit. 11-year-olds nowadays call in fake shootings just to leave early. After all said and done, everybody went their separate ways. Sugimoto Remi was done with a stupid victim complex and decided to dip. Jotaro and Joseph went back home. And what better way to make up to your wife for having an illegitimate child than to bring home another baby of some other woman?
Jotaro Kujo finally finished a doctoral thesis he began on a species of starfish he found on a beach in Morio, earning him his PhD.
So let me get this straight. Not only this motherfucker catch a time-bending serial killer, but while at it, also wrote a fucking thesis and got his doctorate. Koichi finally chose a partner, and it was neither Jotaro nor Rohan. And that is because there is something that these two men severely lack. A vagina. Cinderella's clinic was shut down. Tony kept serving his customers. Okuyasu banged all the MILFs. And Josuke finally got closure with Joseph and came to a shocking conclusion. Shocking conclusion being Kira. Turns out Josuke liked his hot balls, but he also appreciates Okuyasu's collection. So now he swings both ways. And so everybody lived happily ever after. for like 13 years until Poochie fucked up the universe. All in all, a very solid season. So I probably won't be making a lot of these unless this video gets like 1 million views. I will try completing the series in the future, maybe a few random uploads, maybe a few shorts, but you can say that this channel is now officially dead. Again, thanks for coming along on this journey. As a person and as a Jojo fan,
Stay fucking hard!
remember I mentioned that there is Kakyoin in part 4? Yeah, so about that, Kakyoin is the friends we made along the way.